Hello, I'm Tina Lange, better known as the Soup Queen, and today I am going to make a Guatemalan avocado soup. I was in Guatemala with Rotary in 2002, and when I was in Antigua I had this soup and it was so great and it was pretty. It was a very interesting looking soup. So this is my attempt to recreate it. Started with about a 2-liter saucepan, and obviously I've put a bunch of water in there and some vegetables and spices. And I've also put a chicken breast in there. So the chicken breast has been simmering along with the vegetables for about 12 minutes. So it's time to have a look at it and see if it's cooked. So we're just gonna take it out there, the knife out, and we're gonna just cut into it and see how it looks. And yes, it is cooked. So we're just going to put it aside and let it cool down. I might just cut that in half so it cools quicker. There we go. Put that aside. And in the meantime, let's see what else we've got happening here. We have, over here, we've got onions and garlic. Now the onion is about a medium onion, all chopped up, and I use 3 very large cloves of garlic. I'm of the opinion that you really can't use too much garlic, particularly if this is the way you're cooking it, where it's allowed to slowly brown along with the onions. This probably took 10-12 minutes, and I stirred it regularly because garlic tends to stick to the bottom a bit, but it's ready to go. But we want to add some fluid to that to get the bits off the bottom. So I'm going to use a pot holder because obviously I don't want to burn my hands, and I wanted to show you this lovely pot holder that my mom made me. She's so fantastic. So we're going to add a little bit of liquid here. There we go. And a little bit more. Put it back on the heat. Turn that up a bit. And give it a bit of a stir. There we go. We're just going to let that sit for a minute. Well, maybe add a little bit more fluid to it. Doesn't matter if a few of the vegetables got in here, of course, because it's all going to be in the same pot eventually. So we'll let that simmer, and I'm going to tell you everything that is in here for spices. I've put in about 1.5 teaspoons of Mexican chili powder and about 1/4 teaspoon of hot red pepper flakes. My red pepper flakes are very hot, so I didn't add very much. And of course, that's a personal taste for you and your family, so you can put in as much or as little as you want. Another note is that I used some coconut oil to do the vegetables in. You can use vegetable oil of any kind, but I think coconut oil is good for you, so it's a good opportunity to do that. And I want to tell you about the miso that is in here. So miso gives it a nice stock flavor. This is a miso that I bought up at Nature's Fair. It's the quickest way to find it. It's going to the refrigerated section, and it's organic. You always want organic miso because soybeans are the world's worst crop for horrendous amounts of pesticides being put on them. So get organic. Soy is good for you if it's fermented and if it's organic. So this gives it nice flavor. This stuff keeps in your fridge forever too. So it's always there handy. You can cook your quinoa in it or your rice, just add some flavor. All good. All right. Now I think our chicken breast should be about ready. Turn that down a bit. Now what you're going to do with your chicken breast is you're just going to use your fingers and you're going to pull it apart, sort of like pulled pork, but this is pulled chicken. And you just want to, pull bits off of it. It's a good texture and it looks different when you do that. There's a bit of cartilage or something on here that we don't want. I've put chicken in here because a chicken breast is so easy. But you could use pork, pulled pork that you've prepared ahead of time would be great in there because it's got that kind of Mexican-y flavor to it. South American flavor would be a better term, I guess. It's good with seafood. Throw in some shrimp, but just throw them in at the very end. Or it's also terrific with some white fish. Again, you want that fish just to simmer for a few minutes at the end. Take it out, cut it up, and then add it just as you're serving the soup, or else it'll all fall apart in there. Now, if you don't want meat at all in there, this soup looks terrific with black beans. Just open up a can of black beans, give them a good rinse, drain them well, and throw them into your soup. The color contrast is beautiful. You could also use some meat, some black beans. It's great with quinoa in it too if you want to add a little bit, maybe more substance to it. Or if you don't have enough vegetables or meat or whatever, quinoa is great because it's got lots of goodness in it and protein as well. Amaranth's the same thing, keeping with that South American sort of style. There we go. Now we're just going to wipe the hands off here. And we're going to put the chicken in here. Turn it up. Make sure that it's good and hot. You can see the chunks of chicken in there. And then we're going to add this. Okay, so I'm putting the onions and the lovely roasted garlic in with it. Can't beat that for flavor base for a soup. Side, be careful there. So we want this to be good and hot before we serve it because you're going to put the avocado in at the very end, and your soup needs to be hot enough to cook, not cook, but to heat the avocado through, and without cooling your soup down too much. It takes about, I always say, let it sit in the bowls for about 3 minutes to heat it up. And I think that's come to a boil again, so it's ready to serve. Turn that off. I'm going to use a white bowl, and the reason I'm going to use a white bowl is because it will look pretty. So, serve your soup. I'm letting it all run down the side of the bowl. Don't do that. Don't do what I'm doing with that. See how beautiful that looks in the bowl? Wipe off the side. There we go. Move that over. And then you want to put some of the avocado on top because it looks pretty and it kind of floats. And then the cilantro, as much as you like. I love cilantro, so I would put lots in my bowl, but it would be up to you, of course. And I'm just going to put the cilantro in there so that it just heats through to give it that nice flavor. And there you are, Guatemalan chicken avocado soup, brought to you by Tina. Enjoy.